Hey, you listen to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0. This is Grady Hooker, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
This is going to be a hard show. We got to get through 3 events. We got to get through NXT Brooklyn, we got to get through SummerSlam, and we got to get through the Raw after SummerSlam. So we'll just quickly start off with NXT. We'll just rush in straight there. We'll start off with the points that I remember. The Uhaa Nation now coming out as Apollo Cruz makes his triumphant debut.
Yeah, it was a decent match. We're probably going to need to see him against better competition, though, to really judge what he can do.
From someone who never saw him before NXT, he impressed me with this match.
Yeah, I was impressed, but I want to see more.
Yeah. Hopefully we do. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. We started off the show with Jushin Thunder Liger
versus Tyler Breeze.
I think
Tyler Breeze is quickly becoming just that reliable. Throw him out there against random person and type of person in the NXT. Which is not a good thing.
No. And I don't know if it can't be a part of the problem, but he's putting on great matches every time he's thrown out there to do it.
Yeah,
it's sort of a catch-22 because you can't put on a bad match because then he's shown as a bad performer, but if he keeps putting on good matches, they're going to keep thinking to put him with these random people.
Yeah, I know it really bothered him when Kevin Owens got called up so quickly, and he's been in developmental for so long.
Yeah. Oh, he would have been down there for a while. I'll quickly go there. He's been... I
think it's 5 years now.
Professional wrestling career. He signed to FCW in 2010. So yeah, he's down there for 5 years. Yeah, and what was Owens? Like 5 weeks?
3 months, I think, was the total time.
Yeah. But yeah, I see why some of these, you'd almost call them the old people in NXT, are annoyed that they're signing new people and putting them straight up. But we'll get to another one of those later on. So we got the Vaudevillains brought out Blue Pants and then captured the Nxt Tag Team Championships.
I'll take a small bow, one of many I'll take tonight.
You'll take a lot.
Because this was something I did call.
In fairness, including SummerSlam, you called a lot of things. You know, throw enough rocks, one of them will hit something. But yes, you were correct with the Blue Pants coming out. I think everybody knew it once the Vaudevillains were wearing blue.
But yeah, this was a good match. And I'm okay with the Vaudevillains winning. But we'll have to see where they go with this from them. I think that makes Aiden English a 2-time champion. Tag champion.
Possibly. Internet's too slow here to find out. They're definitely entertaining. It seemed as though the Vaudevillains had dropped off the NXT Tag Team Division radar for a while, and then all of a sudden came back and was rushing for the title. No, he's a one-time, according to Wikipedia.
I thought he was a tag team champion with Aiden English or Adrian Neville.
Quickly scrolling.
That was Oliver Gray. My mistake. And Corey Graves.
Ah, yeah, Corey was the second one.
Yeah.
Not many people have held that title. 7 teams. We got Adrian Neville and Oliver Gray, then the Wyatt family, then Neville and Graves, then the Ascension, the Lucha Dragons, Banff, and now the Vaudevillains.
Yeah. And Neville's the only person that's held a title more than one time
Yeah.
in NXT.
Which is something we don't see very often on the main roster now. Or, well, maybe now, but as of lately when we're playing hot potato with the titles. We also got Samoa Joe and Baron Corbin.
That was a great match.
Someone finally ended Corbin.
Yeah, but they showed a lot of his actual ability.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty impressed by that.
I liked the match. We haven't been seeing much out of Corbin. It's normally just a squash match and then maybe a pay-per-view match against Dempsey or Rhino. But he went a full 10 minutes and 21 seconds on this with a talent who is great, Samoa Joe, and they worked together and made a beautiful match.
Yeah, so Corbin can definitely be a lot more than just boom, boom, we're done.
Mm.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah. We'll go through and we'll talk about Finn Balor retaining his championship.
This was a good ladder match. It's not one of the best ever. But it was definitely a good ladder match.
When you've got a ladder match, it's always going to struggle to be one of the best ever, because the best ever ladder matches are rated so highly amongst fans.
I felt there was more that they could have done, but at the same time, I kind of felt the match was a little too long.
Yeah, it ran 21 minutes, or 22 if you round up. Yeah, I think it's roughly around the length of a main event for an NXT. But I guess we'll go just before the break, and we'll talk about the other match on NXT's card, the Women's Championship match.
Best match of the night. Period.
I'll just move away from the mic and let you talk for 5 minutes about this match.
Bayley and Sasha Banks tore the place down. This should have been the main event.
I agree with that point. I think that was the one thing that peeved me off, was that match, they billed it as a double main event, but the match should have been last on the card, and then end on that shot of the four of them.
I legitimately cried when Bayley won the championship. That's how happy I was for her.
That's alright, Sasha Banks cried as well.
This was the moment that Bayley deserved.
Mm-hmm.
And they are bringing in more divas to work with her. So
yeah,
since they shift everybody off to the main roster.
Yeah, you definitely felt that the end of that match was something special when it's the last time, quite possibly, until Bayley gets called up again, that those four are ever going to be in that ring together. It's the last time they'll ever be in an NXT ring together, I think. And it was very momentous. And something I think that is not talked about too much as well, not generally the match, but just pulling it back, was that video package before the match. As I showed some non-wrestling fans, and even they were pulling for Bayley at the end of that.
Yeah. WWE does really well on video packages. It's one of their strengths. So it's not really a surprise that they pulled off something like this.
And then the match lived up to the video package.
Yeah.
So we don't want to sit here and talk about Bayley all show. Well, I guess Josh does. But we do have to go into our classic entrance theme. It is Stacy Keibler's legs. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh. So now we're going to talk about SummerSlam. We've jumped across Sheamus versus Randy Orton in the opener.
I had a lot of problems while trying to watch this match, so I didn't really get to see a lot of it.
You're having technical problems most of the time. Yeah.
No, I think it was just Sheamus and Orton being on, because I didn't have any major problems again after that match until the final match, the main event.
Okay. The easiest way to describe it is it was a Sheamus and Orton match. Nothing special.
A good match, but really there was no point to it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that appropriate?
Pretty much, yeah. The same match you've seen 1,000 times. Well, what is it, like 300 now? Then we had the tag team fatal 4-way for the WWE Tag Team Championship.
I'm not surprised the New Day won. I was hoping they would go out of the box and Lucha Dragons would win, but it is what it is.
Yeah. From Raw, New Day are clearly the entertaining guys. There was a couple of promos a while back where the Primetime Players were doing spots just talking about the other tag teams and being the funny ones. And that got them pretty well over. And I think it's essentially the team that can be the funniest at this point. And everybody either loves the New Day or loves to hate the New Day. Whereas the Primetime Players, although they had momentum before winning the titles, after grabbing the titles, their support sort of just waned and died off. And I think the Lucha Dragons are still a little untested in terms of the main roster caring about them, but that is generally due to exposure and them not getting much. But after what happened on Raw, it makes sense. Of course, we'll get to that when we get to the Raw section. Ziggler Rusev.
Yeah, didn't care.
Nobody did.
Especially with the non-finish.
Yeah, let's just end it in a double count out and we'll move on and have a rematch later on.
Yeah, we'll have the mixed tag match at Night of Champions.
Stephen Amell and Neville versus Stardust and King Barrett.
This was a great match. And we've got to give props to our boy, Steven. He brought it.
Steven gets a big thumbs up. It was the one match that my mum watched in full from SummerSlam. From what I saw, not as a wrestling fan, as an entertainment fan, pulling it back, Steven brought a lot of, I don't know if they were subscribers or if they paid their pay-per-view company, but a lot of people in to watch that show. Just a lot of non-wrestling fans. And then he goes out there and, I want to say, does super well for a celebrity involvement. He takes bumps, he did his move, he did the top rope.
Yes. Yeah, definitely, our male definitely did not embarrass himself.
No.
And he won a lot of people over in that match, even Arrow fans.
Yeah.
And probably some people that are going to check out Arrow now that hadn't before.
It was pretty smart cross-promotion, to be honest. The one thing I was mainly surprised about is that, I don't know the exact stats, but it seemed as though Amell and Neville, their ring time was probably split about 50-50.
Which is kind of surprising, because I figured they would keep him out of the ring as much as possible to protect him. But then he was in the ring for about half the time.
Yeah.
Of the match.
He acted like a tag team partner. He didn't act as like a celebrity involvement. Which is why I think a lot of people liked it. So we've got time for one
Yeah,
more.
I was in the middle of a chat during that match, and everybody was commenting on how well he did and how impressed they were.
So you want to see him back for another one?
Sure. Let's go with Survivor Series.
Perfect.
Team Arrow versus Team Stardust.
Nailed it. And we know which team Barrett will be on.
No, we won't.
Between now and Raw, we know one team.
Yeah.
The Intercontinental Triple Threat.
Very, very short match.
5.5 minutes.
Yeah. The shortest match on the card. That should say something.
I don't know what else there is to say about this match.
Ryback took the heel's way out and pinned somebody who was knocked out by somebody else.
We wanted more out of this Ryback title run, and we're not getting it. That's pretty much it.
We'll have to see where they go from here, because hopefully that's the end of the feud.
Hopefully. We'll skip the tag match, because we can talk about that on Raw a lot better, since they rematched it. Lovely. But we'll go into our current entrance theme, and then we'll come back. You now get to listen to about 2.5 minutes of Josh's favourite theme. It's Bailey's theme. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady and Josh, lightning round, because we're running out of time on the show. Seth Rollins versus John Cena, winner takes all.
Great match. This was the theme of the main events.
Yep.
Great match, ruined by a terrible ending.
Yep. Even though Jon Stewart explains his actions on Raw, still, I don't see why Seth needs the US title after the actions on Raw. It seems as though it was useless to give it to him.
We'll have to see where they go, and he may have to defend both titles on Night of the Champions.
There's probably some ancient bylaw written into it that each title has to be defended separately, because I don't think he's putting both on the line against Mysterious Man.
No, that's just a World Heavyweight Championship match.
Okay. The 3-team Divas Elimination match, Team PCB walks out the winners.
Not really a surprise.
The only surprise was they got rid of Bad in like 5.
I was more surprised by people expecting the Bellas to be eliminated first.
That
didn't make any sense.
I didn't expect that. I expected Team Bad to last longer. But that was it. Kevin Owens defeated Cesaro.
I was surprised by that, especially after the ladder match. But it was a good match.
And The Undertaker defeats Brock Lesnar, sort of.
Good match, ruined by a bad ending.
Yep, there's the theme again. I understand the ending, but it still confuses me. Okay, so we're going to jump to Raw, and now I'm doing everything from memory. So, this could go bad. Okay, so, New Day, play a trumpet, win a match. Trombone, damn it. Already screwed up. First line. And then a old favorite comes back.
Yeah, the Dudleys came back.
Surprised, happy?
Yeah, it was very surprising. I hadn't heard anything on it. So that's a sign that they did what they were supposed to do. They kept us out of the loop. We didn't know they were coming.
Yep. Things are much better like that. A lot of surprises recently have been leaked or ruined. And in a year or, I don't know, in the landscape right now where everything's online media, it's very hard to keep secrets like this.
And Xavier Woods was very entertaining on that trombone.
Of course he was.
We needed him about 15 minutes earlier when they killed Bo Dallas.
Goodbye, Bo. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
People actually edited his Wikipedia page to say that he died on Raw by Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Let's see what else I can remember. They had an 8-man tag team match with the good guys versus the bad guys. And Big Show just gets utterly decimated. And the good guys looking like a group.
Poor Big Show, he was getting bullied.
He doesn't seem to be fitting on anybody's team right now. I thought he had a face turn and then just, nope.
No, it just seems like everybody just turned on him.
I have no idea. I don't know what's going on with Big Show, and I don't know what's going on if that group's going to stick around. And I think the only reason that the rumor of the group sticking around is because people want to see that group. Then, as I said, we're going to talk a little about it later. The Wyatts took on Ambrose and Reigns, and they debuted a third Wyatt family member.
And this was another one of those surprise moments because nobody had any idea who the crap this guy was.
Yeah, I know a lot of, like, the chat I was in was just, who's that? Who's that? Who the hell is that?
Is that this guy? Is that guy?
Is it Mike Knox?
No. So that was another good moment because they didn't know, because you didn't know who it was.
No, I gotta see more from the guy before I comment, but it made sense to bring in a third Wyatt. You just need to wait for Rowan to come back, and then they'll be 4 strong.
Yeah, and we'll have to figure out who they're going to add to the Shield side.
There's still the
I suggested Bull Dempsey.
Yeah. I don't know, Bull's current gimmick down in NXT doesn't seem to fit with anybody.
Yeah.
The only one that came to mind very quickly was the Uso that's uninjured.
Yeah.
He has a connection with Reigns. You know.
But he wouldn't really be believable as a person that could do damage to this monster of a man.
Yeah.
That's why I suggested Bull Dempsey, because at least Bull Dempsey has size that you make you believe he could do something to that guy.
Make you believe?
No, I think believing is dead.
It died with Bo. Is there anything I'm missing other than the main event segment? I'm trying to quickly think through. I'm gonna deep.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about. Don't need to talk about the Divas because there really wasn't much to that match. Wade Barrett got destroyed by Stardust.
Yep. That's about it.
Jon Stewart got destroyed by John Cena.
That was always going to happen. Ric Flair came out. Flair got popped. Flair got booed when he said he endorsed John Cena. Cena AA's Jon Stewart, says you've ruined everything. Goes to the back, gets kicked out of the arena, comes back out for Seth Rollins' statue thing, but he can't because he's out back, and Sting's under the cover instead. Boom.
And we're going to get Sting versus Rollins. I'll take another bow for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
It was quite obvious someone was under that curtain.
Yes, and I had said before the event Raw even started that it would be Sting versus Rollins for the World Championship.
Yeah. As we said, we don't know if he's going to defend 2 titles. I figure he may drop the US title before then. Don't know. We'll see what happens. But we definitely got 2 strong returns and a strong debut to shake everything up. And we'll see how that goes, since we've gone over time. That's it. It's been great talking to you, Josh.
Bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio. And I'll see you next week.